Hello student, this is Suman Sharma from SVM Synidi and this is the next video for class 10. Student, in this video we will study about factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. What are the different factors that affecting the resistance? And you already know that what is resistance. Here is the first point, the nature of material. Student, we know that the substances are made up of different types of material, and some materials have low resistance and some materials have high resistance. The materials with more number of free electrons have less resistance, like conductors, because electrons can easily move from one point to the another point. To understand it clearly, let us take another example of two wires having the equal length and diameter. One of copper wire and other of nichrome alloy. Then we will find that the resistance of nichrome wire is 60 times more than the resistance of copper wire. This shows that the resistance of the conductor depends on the nature of the material used. This is the first point. Now, the second point is length of the conductor. Here student, the resistance of the conductor depends on the length of the conductor. To understand the length of the conductor, student, suppose that we are walking down to a crowded street, and when we are walking to this crowded street, then we faces some opposition to the other people, and we faces more opposition when the street becomes longer. In the same way, as the electrons have to travel inside the conductor, and the electrons also face opposition from the other electron, and this opposition gives rise to resistance. It means the electrons also faces resistance in traveling to the conductor, and the resistance becomes high when the length of the conductor increases. That means the resistance of the conductor is directly proportional to its length. When the length of the wire is double, then its resistance also gets doubled, and when the length of the wire is half, then its resistance also gets half. Here is the equation for the second point is that resistance directly proportional to length of the conductor. This is equation 1. As you can see in the image that there are two wires. One is long wire and other is a short wire. As the resistance is directly proportional to the length, then a long wire has high resistance and a short wire has low resistance. This means when the length of the wire increases, then its resistance also increases, and when the length of the wire decreases, then its resistance also decreases. This is the second point. Now, the third point is that area of cross section. Suppose that student, we go back to that street where we have to walk and assume that the street is wider. Now, when the street is wider, then in that place we can move very easily from one side to another side, because the street is wider, and as the street is wider, that means there is less opposition, that means there is less obstruction, that means there is less resistance. In the same way, as the electrons flow in the conductor, and if the area of cross section of the conductor increases, then electrons easily flows from one side to the another side, and if electron easily flows from one side to the another side, that means it faces less resistance. It means when the area increases, then it faces less resistance. That means resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Here is the equation becomes R proportional to 1 by A. This is equation 2. in the image that we know that the shape of the wire is cylinder and the area of cross section is actually this. So when the area of cross section increases, then its resistance decreases, and when the area of cross section decreases, then its resistance increases, because resistance and area of cross section is inversely proportional to each other, as you can also see in the image. Also, here is the cylinder, or we can say that the shape of a wire. When the area becomes wider like this, then electrons easily flow because there is less obstruction, because there is less resistance. That's why we say that the resistance and the area of cross section is inversely proportional to each other. This is the third point. Now students, in the next slide, there are 7 cases, and in that cases we have to study it one by one. It takes time, so pay your attention that. Here, in the first case, that the thinner of the wire, we have to open it again. Okay. In the first case, the thinner of the wire, higher resistance, and when the wire is thicker, it is the better conductance. Better conductance means stronger current flows, and stronger current flows means the brighter the bulb glows. And when the wire is long, then it has high resistance. When it has high resistance, then small current flows, and when small current flows, then the bulb is dull. This is the case. You have to see it properly one by one and analyze that how the resistance increases, and as the resistance increases or as the resistance changes, then in that respect how the current changes. So this is the slide. In the next slide, here's the effect of temperature. Now, it has been found that the resistance of all pure metals increases on raising the temperature, and the resistance decreases on lowering the temperature or decreasing the temperature. Students, if the temperature of the conductor increases, then the randomness of the electron in the conductor also increases because it gains energy. And as the randomness of the electrons increases, then the probability of collision of electrons to each other also increases. And as the number of collision increases, then it increases the resistance. That's why we say that if we increases the temperature, then the resistance of the conductor or the resistance of the conductor also increases. Here is the point that we have to keep in our mind, that resistance of alloy like manganese, nichrome and Constantan remains unaffected by the temperature. This is the point we are dealing with the conductor or metals. Now here is the condition for alloy, that the alloys remains unaffected with the temperature. Now the next point is that combining these two equations, students, we just studied in the previous slide that R proportional to L, this is first equation. R proportional to 1 by A, this is second equation. When we combine these two equations, we get R proportional to L by A. And when we solve it, we get R is equal to rho L by A. This quantity is rho, RHO. And this constant quantity rho is called resistivity. And this is also known as specific resistance. You have to keep it in your mind because it is very useful when you solve the numerical. This rho is known as resistivity and the another name is specific resistance. Here, this is the formula we used to calculate the resistance of the conductor or to solve the numerical, that is R is equal to rho L by A, where rho is a constant of proportionality and it is called electrical resistivity of the material of the conductor. So this is the formula for the resistance. Now in the next slide, here the topic is resistivity. Students, just recall the resistance. Resistance is a property of a conductor that opposes the flow of motion of the electrons. And resistivity is also the property of a conductor that quantifies how strongly it opposes the flow of electrons. Resistivity quantifies how strongly it opposes the flow of electrons. So this is resistivity. In the last slide, we have studied that the formula for resistance is equal to R is equal to rho L by A. Now, if we solve this for the expression for resistivity, then we get this. Rho is equal to R A by L. Here R is the resistance, A is equal to area of cross section and L is equal to length of conductor. So we have to find the SI unit of resistivity. So the unit of resistance are A is unit of area of cross section and L is unit of length. We know that the unit of resistance is ohm, unit of area of cross section is meter square and the unit of length is meter. When we solve it, we get that the unit of resistivity is ohm meter. So students, here is the point that the resistivity of a substance is numerically equal to the resistance. Resistivity becomes equal to the resistance. When it becomes equal to the resistance? When the 1 meter long conductor and having the 1 square meter in cross section area. When the length of the conductor is 1 meter and the area of cross section of the conductor is 1 meter square, then in that case the resistivity is equal to the resistance of the conductor. Here, as you can see this. Rho is equal to R into 1 by 1, that is rho is equal to R. That means resistivity is equal to resistance. Here is the most important point that the resistivity of a substance does not depend on its length or thickness, but the resistivity depends on nature of substance and temperature. Students, pay your attention that resistance depends on nature of material, length, area of cross section and temperature. But resistivity depends only on the nature of substance and the temperature. This is a very important point. You have to remember this. Now, in the next slide, there are some important points which you have to keep in your mind. Here the first point is that a good conductor of electricity should have low resistivity. It has low resistivity, it means that it does not opposes the current strongly. That means it has less resistance. And if it has less resistance, then obviously it is a good conductor. In the second point, a poor conductor of electricity will have high resistivity. High resistivity, that means it strongly opposes the electron. If it strongly opposes, then it has high resistance, and if it has high resistance, that means electrons cannot flow easily, and the substance through which electron cannot flow easily is not a good conductor. That's why it is written a poor conductor. In the third point, silver has the lowest resistivity. We know that silver is the best conductor, and if silver is the best conductor, that means it has lowest resistance, and if it has lowest resistance, that means it has lowest resistivity, and the range for the resistivity is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter for the silver. The next is resistivity of alloy are much more higher than that of a pure metal. The resistivity of alloy are much more higher than that of a pure metal. We read about the three alloys, that manganese. It is made up of copper, manganese and nickel. And the resistivity of manganese is 25 times more than that of copper. Next is constantan. It is made up of copper and nickel, and the resistivity of constantan is 30 times more than that of copper metal. In the last point, nichrome. Nichrome wire, you already know this. Nichrome is made up of nickel, chromium, manganese and iron. And the resistivity of nichrome wire is 60 times more than that of the copper wire. Here are the three alloys: manganese, constantan and nichrome. All the alloys have the more resistivity than that of a pure metal, which is used here, copper. Okay, these are the points which you have to keep it in your mind. Now, in the next slide, some more important point. The resistivity of the conductor is very low, you know it. The resistivity of most of the metals increases with temperature. You just studied that the resistivity depends on temperature. So, if we increase the temperature, then the resistivity also increases. Next, the resistivity of insulator like ebonite rod, glass rod and diamond is very high. Extremely high, that means it does not change with temperature. So, you have to remember it. The resistivity of insulators like ebonite rod, glass rod, diamond doesn't change with temperature. Now, the resistivity of semiconductor. Semiconductor means the substance which comes between the conductor and insulator. And the examples are silicon and germanium. In the case of semiconductor, when we increases the temperature, then its resistivity decreases. Okay? When we increases the temperature, the resistivity of semiconductor decreases, and when we decreases the temperature, its resistivity increases. So these are the some important points, students, you have to remember it. I hope that all the topics in this video is clear. Now, one of the most important topic is that it is one of the NCERT questions, that is the heating element or heating coil. Here, heating element or heating coil of electrical heating appliances. Students, we use so many electrical appliances in our home like electric iron, toaster, water heater, room heater, electric kettle. These are all the electrical appliances which we use in our home. And the heating element or the heating coil of all these appliances are made of alloy rather than a pure metal. Why? The first reason is that the resistivity of an alloy is much higher than that of a pure metal. You just studied it. And if the resistivity is high, then its resistance also high. Heating element made of nichrome wire has a high resistance and it produces a lot of heat on passing the current. This is the first reason. And second reason is that the alloy does not undergo oxidation, or we can say that the alloy doesn't burn even at high temperature when it becomes red hot. That's why the alloy is used for the heating coil of the electrical heating appliances. So these are the two reasons, students, you have to remember, because this is very important question. So students, I think whatever the topic is dealt in this video is becomes clear and you now understood all the topics. So this is enough for today. Thank you so much.